This is Paul McKenna for PT Boxing. I'm here today down in London with me, head of boxing, head of Sky Boxing, Adam Smith. How are you, mate?
Paul,
okay,
I'm
you
good? Very good, thank you.
Obviously, today in London, Anthony Joshua's next fight, the press conference. He's taking on IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Prince Charles Martin.
Yeah. It's exciting, isn't it?
It is. It seemed very tense up there today, especially in the head-to-head. It was a bit of a tense atmosphere, and Charles Martin seems supremely confident, and as does Paul. And it's shaping up to be a really good fight, April 9th.
I think it is a really good fight. I think it's one of many that's coming out of boxing at the moment. I mean, it's absolutely booming as a sport. I think ever since Froch Groves met at Wembley, I think the sport's gone on to a new level. You know, Mayweather-Pacquiao finally got made. We had Tyson Fury's wonderful win against Vladimir Klitschko. You've got Quigg and Frampton, which is probably the best trade fight of many years next weekend. You've got this one. You've got Canelo and Khan. It's a terrific time for the sport. I particularly like this fight. I was ringside for the Charles Martin Viacheslav Glazkov match. I spent time with Charles Martin. He's a very interesting character. He's very confident. He's come from a tough school, a tough background on the streets of St. Louis, and you know it's meant the world to get to this position. I don't think he believed he was quite in that position to fight for a world heavyweight title in January. Now he's coming here and defending it against our golden boy, against Anthony Joshua in the packed out O2. I think it's terrific for the sport. They're both unbeaten. They're both big guys. They're both hugely confident, and they've both got enormous power. It's going to be a cracker. 100%.
Obviously, as you just sort of touched on the power, it's going to be a major part to play in this fight. Obviously, Charles Martin, 21 stoppages out of 23 wins on his record. Anthony Joshua, obviously, all stoppages. So I've spoke to Charles Martin before, and I just spoke to your colleague in Johnny Nelson. I haven't heard one person who thinks it's going to go the distance. So
well, it probably will, because we're all wrong, aren't we? No, I don't think so. I think this is going to be fireworks. I think that it will be about who keeps a cooler head, and also stylistically. You know, Anthony's never fought a professional southpaw. He has obviously in the amateurs, but Charles Martin was like, you know, he's seen Joshua in the amateurs. He's seen chinks. He'll obviously look at what happened against Dylan White. You know, he's got a very good team around him, and Henry Tillman up in Abel Sanchez's group in Summit alongside Gennady Golovkin. You know, this is serious stuff. Joshua, we know, you know, he's a superstar in the making. You know, he's loved by the British fans, whether they're male, female, young, old.
Shows it by the tickets today.
He appeals to everything. Gone in 90 seconds. You know, I know people who who were lucky enough to have tickets for the fight in December, and they just love the whole experience. You know, they want to be part of the AJ journey. You know, he's almost like eclipsed the sport already, but he hasn't even, you know, he's won a British title, but he hasn't got to that world stage. Now he's leaping up to world level. But I think it's a calculated risk, and it's a good gamble to take at this time, because Charles Martin is pretty unproven as well.
Could this possibly be too soon for Anthony Joshua?
Yes, it could be too soon, but it could be too soon for Charles Martin. Charles Martin finds himself a world champion, and probably he wouldn't have thought he would have got to that position as quickly. Anthony Joshua jumps from a great British title win, but a difficult second round and a few problems to overcome, into a world title fight. Would you put him in yet with a Fury, with a Hay, with a Wilder? Probably not. You put him in with a Charles Martin? Yes. As I said, both are relatively unproven at this level. So that's the intrigue of this fight. So I think I can see why Joshua's a favourite with the bookies. I don't see why he's such a wide favourite, because I think that's doing Charles Martin a bit of a disservice. And ever since he landed over here, it's obvious he hasn't just come for the money. He's come because he believes that he is a world champion. He's going to retain his title, and he's going to knock Joshua out. Whether he can or not, we'll wait and see.
Of course. Just before we go, just touching on obviously huge super fight next week. Quigg Frampton.
Super fight.
I've just spoken to your colleague in Johnny Nelson, and he's made this prediction.
Is he still going Frampton?
He is. He's still going Frampton.
He gets most wrong as well. But
he tends to get a lot
I've always
wrong,
thought Frampton in this fight, because of the pedigree, the quality, and the skills and the adaptability. But the closer it gets, the momentum may be well swinging towards Scott Quigg. I think Scott's been really relaxed and calm in the build-up. He's obviously a total obsessive with boxing. He's got the power. He's got the belief and the heart. You know, if I'm still leaning towards the skills, you've got to give Frampton the edge. I think it's a 50-50 fight. Definitely, I think what we're saying, it's too close to call. What I really hope is that the casuals watch this fight. I know the boxing fans will watch this fight. We all want to see who's going to win. We hope it's a great great fight. Maybe there'll be a rematch. What I want is I want the new boxing fans that have come in for Joshua, for Fury, for the heavyweights, to tune in on Saturday the 27th to see a fabulous matchup. Because that's what it is. Quigg, unbeaten. Frampton, unbeaten. Both champions, both with a packed arena, classy fighters, classy guys. It's what we need, and I want as many people to watch it as possible who don't normally watch boxing, because I think it's going to be a great platform for the sport.
100%. And on that note, we will leave it there. Thanks a lot for your time, Adam, as always, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you before the Quigg and Frampton fight in the packed weigh-in.
It's going to be a good week.
That's it. Thank you.
No problem at all.